Agriculture in Italy by Brianna Colosi. This is Italy. Many of you may recognize it by the boot, and it also includes the islands of Sicily and Sardinia as well. The population in Italy is 60,461,827 people, which is a rough estimate according to the year 2020. Most of its people are in the range of 54 years old to 45 years old, which is the same for male and female, as seen by the graph. The density of which these people live for Italy have more of their people most densely populated in their north, as you can see by this picture over here, with less than 3% being populating the southern region. The role of agriculture in Italy is strange because it doesn't produce a lot of raw material. In fact, it's classified as a net agricultural importer, meaning that they mostly import raw materials and ingredients in order to process and manufacture goods to then be exported. However, Italy does produce some commodities that they then will be used to produce other goods and then be exported. In fact, only 5% of the land is under cultivation in Italy, meaning that it's used for producing crops. Italy is not self-sufficient in agricultural products, yet it does enjoy an abundance of agricultural resources. The agricultural regions that are mostly towards the northern and southern sections of Italy, which makes sense because those regions are most densely populated, but then in the south, since it's less densely populated, that's where more of your vineyards and larger farms are going to be. And then, as you can see by this picture over here, here are just some where the more common commodities will be produced in Italy. So the financial impact that agriculture has on Italy includes that with Italy, there are 1.1 million farms, and Italy has about 12 million hectares of agricultural land with an average farm size of 11 hectares. And most of these farms are family-owned farms, which then go to produce their own product as well. An estimated value of agriculture in Italy is $35.8 billion per year, and it makes up about 21% of Italy's annual GDP. Some of the main commodities that Italy has include soybeans, vegetables, grains, meat products or livestock, olives, grapes, durum wheat, dairy products, and citric fruits. So, as I said before, the agriculture is different in the northern and southern in Italy. So in the northern part, you're mostly going to find your grains such as rice, your soybeans, your meat or livestock, which are produced by small family farms, and your dairy products, which will then be able to go to be used to make cheeses such as mozzarella, parmesan, and gorgonzola. And then in the southern region, which is warmer, so it's able to produce these, it's suitable to produce these types of products, which include your fruits such as oranges and lemons, which come from Sicily, then your apples, which grow in Trentino Alto Adige, and then you also have your olives and your grapes. and tomatoes as well. And then it'll also have other various vegetables. And then the most common is durum wheat, which is a more hardier type of wheat than what is produced in the U.S. Now, as said before, Italy imports most of its raw materials since most of its agricultural strength is in manufacturing and processing of goods. How these commodities help supply resources to people. Italy has many of its commodities going to produce things used for its own country and used to export to other countries as well. One of them most being durum wheat, which I said is a more hardier wheat, which is used most commonly for making pastas and breads. Italy has a lot of small family farms that are beginning to raise swine for meat for themselves, as they learned it is cheaper than importing. Of course, the most famous olive oil from Italy, which are produced from their olives. And then, of course, their grapes also produce wine, which is very prominent throughout Italy, with one of their most famous being Chianti. Their dairy cows also produce various cheeses such as Parmesan, mozzarella, and gorgonzola. And then Italy, it produced over 50% of the European Union's rice and 45% of their soybeans as well, as of 2017. Now, I just wanted to put this in there to say, while even though Italy does import a lot of their raw materials, their leading exports in what they produce from these raw materials makes up for how much they do import. So as you see, soybeans, which has $305.1 million, along with their tree nuts, $282.6 million, wheat is $139.4 million, forest products, $93.3 million, and their fish products, which is $76.3 million. But then their exports have a higher number in which they go to countries such as their wine and beer, which makes up about $2.1 billion of their exports. Their olive oil, which is $572.9 million. Their cheeses is $324.4 million. Their various snack foods of $208.5 million. And then just other processed fruit and vegetables for $160.4 million. So it just goes to show that while they do import a lot of stuff, they are making up for it and being a net agricultural importer by their exports that they send out. How these commodities have had a positive impact on Italy. These commodities have had a positive impact on the country by making it one of the largest agricultural producers and processors in the European Union. Italy also has a lot of lucrative agricultural exports, which two of the top include olives and grapes. Of course, the olives get turned into olive oil, and in fact, Italy is one of the leading exporters of olive oils, which is second to Spain. With the grapes grown in Italy, wine is produced in every region, and with the olive oil produced, the wine and wine trade produce a positive trade balance. Then, of course, 1/6 of the land is pasture land, which is a house of variety of animals. Most notable is raising buffalo for their milk to make mozzarella cheese for export. And then, of course, there is the tourism. Many of the tourism is of the beautiful vineyards that reside in Italy, aside from their architecture that is there. And then here is just a picture of some olive oil, some wine. And then this here is actually a picture of my distant cousin's family vineyard in Sicily on the island of Salina. So how much of each crop/animal product is produced in the country? So with the grains, which include rice, are 1.1 million metric tons. Wheat is 7.2 million tons. Soybeans are 1.1 million tons. Tomatoes are 6 million to 7 million metric tons. Olives are 3.4 million metric tons. Oranges are 2.2 million metric tons. Lemons are 400 tons. Apples are 2.4 million tons. Grapes are 1 million tons. Vegetables, 7 million tons. This includes a wide variety of vegetables as well. Then there's liquid milk, which is 2.3 million tons, but if broken down to how much cheese is produced from the cow's milk, it is 1.137 million tons, which is still a lot of cheese produced. And then meat is 2.6 million tons. So some of the leading producers in Italy include Syngenta, which is a company that is striving to increase the yield of crops. And then a lot of Italy's production of crops are owned by small family farms. Many include vineyards, and like I said before, the swine production that's increasing in Italy. And there's Granarolo SPA, which is Italy's leading dairy company, which is then followed by Italite SRL. Muti, Conserve Italia, Star, Diviglia, and Casalaco controls about 80% of the tomato market in Italy. And then Casa Oliria Italiana is Italy's leading olive producer and olive oil producer. Some challenges that Italy faces with agriculture include their environment. So Italy's Mediterranean weather is what allows it to be able to grow more of the tropical exotic fruits, especially all year round as well. However, there are some challenges facing Italy's agriculture, one being the increasing climate. The increase in the heat has predicted to decrease the yields for spring sown crops, spring summer crops, and autumn sown crops. The mountainous regions of Italy also make it difficult to grow many crops on that land, just because of how hilly it is. However, there are still small family-owned farms that produce various livestock in that terrain. Soil erosion has also been a problem in Tuscany, Italy, mainly if there has been intense rainfall or if there is a long duration of rain. As you can see by this picture here is the erosion of the soil. Another common problem, like most countries, is diseases. One of the most common diseases that is prevalent in Italy right now that they are battling is brucellosis, or more commonly known as Mediterranean fever. This disease is most commonly found in cattle, and with the most prevalent region being in Sicily. This disease mainly happens after a calf is born and then is spread to other animals as the mom is taking care of the baby calf. The more that makes this disease so serious is that it can be spread to people. And then a disease in plants that is affecting a lot of the crops today is Thyla Bacterium. This bacteria affects the olive trees in Italy. This bacterium ultimately kills the olive trees and is a very fast spreading and aggressive disease in which the only way to stop it is by burning your crop. This disease is very aggressive and is very common in today's society, especially since it is starting to spread to other countries such as Spain, which is another one of the world's leading exporters of olive oils. Some agricultural schools in Italy include University of Padua. University of Padua actually has a dual graduate degree program in sustainable agriculture with the University of Georgia, located here in the United States. The University of Padua is located in the northern region of Italy. And then another high-rated school for agriculture is the University of Bologna. University of Bologna is located in Bologna, Italy. So one of the main reasons why I wanted to choose this country is that my family is Sicilian and we actually have our own wine produced by distant cousins who are still in Sicily. So the winery is called Cantine Colosi, which is on the island of Salina. And the island of Salina is a part of the province of Messina, which is where my family is from, in a little village. Cantina Colosi, own 10 hectares or 24.7 acres of vineyards and is considered to be one of the most representative producers on the island of Salina. Salina is also one of the most beautiful islands, a part of Sicily that is known for its tourism. So a lot of people do like to go to the vineyards to see it as well. And one interesting thing is that we make wine that gets sold throughout Europe and can even be bought in the USA, as my family has purchased wine, Colosi wine, and we actually have it here. This is a picture of one of the bottles, the more commonly flavor of wine. And then this is a picture of the vineyard in Salina. Grazie.